I am finally bringing you my 2024 makeup inventory numbers. I'm going to tell you how many I had at the beginning of last year, how many I panned, how many I decluttered, and how many I added, along with the final number. I did take photos. The only photos I do not have are the single shadows in Z palettes and eyeshadow palettes. That's a lot of photos to take. So very, very soon I will be doing a single shadow collection video as well as an eyeshadow palette collection video. Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm so happy to finally get this up. I wanted it done by January, squeaking by. Squeaking by last day of the month. I wanted it up by the second week of the month. It didn't happen, but I'm bringing it to you now. I will have these in the order that I put them on my face. Some of them might be out of order, whatever, but for the most part, they're in the order that I put them on my face. Some of these categories have really great panned numbers, and that is because I had so many things that were open, and 2024 is the year that I wanted to use up as much as I possibly could of things that I already had open. They were older, they were getting older. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't go bad, and I wanted to get them out of my collection. So you will see some pretty high numbers. And I'm happy about them. I'm very, very happy about those numbers. My Makeup Empties video has gone up already. I will have that linked up in the cards and in the description box below if you want to go check that out. So let's go ahead and get started. For primers, in January of 2024, I had 20 primers. I panned 14 primers last year. Like I said, I had a lot that were open. If you look at the photo, the whole top row are unopened primers. The bottom row are primers that have usage on them. Actually, a couple of those are almost gone as well. I did declutter one primer to a friend, and I added 5. Now, the reason I say I added 5 and I didn't purchase 5 is because I didn't purchase 5. I added 5. That means anything in friend mail. I did win a couple of giveaways. Anything that came into my collection will be under the added category, but I didn't necessarily purchase those. They just came into my collection. So I have a total of 10 primers. The next category is Glow Primer. The reason that I have that in a separate category from my primers is because I do use those differently. Some of those Glow Primers I add in with my foundation to give it a glow, give it a really nice lit from within look. Some of them I do apply after my primer before my foundation, and sometimes those are interchangeable, and it just depends on what I feel like doing that day. So at the beginning of 2024, I had 20 Glow Primers also. I panned 3. I decluttered 2. I did declutter those to friends. They were just a little bit deeper for my skin tone and didn't quite match, so I thought someone else might get better use out of them. I did add 2. So now I have a total of 17. The top row are again all unopened, and the bottom row are things that I have used previously. This is one of those things that is out of order, but that's okay. Setting spray. In January of last year, I had 10 setting sprays. I panned 9 of those. I didn't declutter any, and I added 3. So now I have a total of 4. Now we're moving on to concealer. In January of 2024, I had 13 concealers. I panned 6. Again, this was a category that I had several that were opened, and I wanted to get them used up and get those knocked out. I decluttered 2 of those. One of those was just not a good shade match for me, so I passed it along. And the other one I just did not like, and I will not use something that I don't like. I added 1. Leanna gave me that Bye Bye Under Eye from It Cosmetics. And so now I have 6. If you look at the photo, the 3 on the right have not been opened yet, and then the 3 on the left have some usage. Next up are color correctors. I do have those in a separate category from concealers, even though a couple of my color correctors I use kind of the same way, but they are color correctors. They are not concealers. In 2024, I had 4 of them I finished one color corrector. It was a peach color corrector. I decluttered 0 and I added 1. So now I have a total of 4. There are 2 things in this category that I really just don't know where to put anywhere else. The e.l.f. that you use to take the warmth out of either your foundation or your concealer. And then the LA Girl, that is the additive that you put in to lighten up your foundation or concealer. So I just really don't know where to put those because they do correct color. So I don't know. I just keep them in there. Next up is foundation. This was another great category for me in 2024. At the beginning of 2024, I had 15 foundations. I panned 7 foundations this year. Over the moon about that. I had so many that were opened that had so much usage on them, and I just decided again to just get them out. I decluttered 1. I had a powder foundation that I did not like that I sent to a friend, and in return she sent me a foundation that she did not like. I added 4. I did buy 4 foundations in 2024 at the end of the year, and so now I have a total of 11. If you look at that photo, everything on the top is unopened. The 4 on the bottom are the things that I have opened and have been using. Next up was a really great category for me in 2024. I had 18 at the beginning of the year. I panned 9. 4 of those were in my out the door in 24. I think 4 or 5 of them. I can't remember now. But I decluttered 2. I did not like them. They did not work well for me, so I did declutter them. I added 3 powders this year. 2 of those I received in a giveaway, and then one of the Fit Me's I purchased at the end of the year when Ulta had their buy 2 get 1 free, and so now I have 10. The only loose powders that are open right now are the Milani and the e.l.f. Halo Glow and the RCMA. The 2 at the bottom are pressed powders. The Maybelline Fit Me and the Laura Geller Baked and Brighten. I use the Baked and Brighten as a setting powder, not as a powder foundation, it is a powder foundation, but I use it as a setting powder. That's the one that I have at work, and that will probably be around until I'm 90 because I don't use it very often, and it is a baked powder, so it's going to stay around forever. Next up is cream contour. I do have this in a separate category from cream bronzers because I do use them in a different way. So at the beginning of 2024, I had 5 cream contours. I did pan 1. I believe it was a Milani, but now I can't remember what it was. It was at the beginning of the year. I decluttered 1 to a friend. I had 2 of those Sephora contour sticks because I received one of them that was damaged. It was melted. And so they sent me a replacement, and I definitely don't need 2 of those. So I did declutter 1 to a friend. So I have 5 left. So the same as what I started the year with. Next up is the bronzer category. I have my cream bronzers and my powder bronzers in the same category, which I don't really know why I did that because my cream blushes and powder blushes are in 2 different categories. Same with highlighters. So I don't know why I put them both in the same. Maybe it's because I only had like 1 or 2 a couple of years ago when I first started doing this. I can't tell you. I don't remember. But I do have them all in one category. So I started the year off with 20 bronzers total. I panned 6. I believe it was 3 cream bronzers and 3 powder bronzers. Again, they were bronzers that I had considerable use on, and so I wanted to go ahead and get those finished. I did declutter 2. They were a little deep for my skin tone, so I did pass those on to friends. I added 4 this year. 1 was a giveaway, 1 was in friend mail, and then I bought those 2 NYX butter bronzers. So I do have a total of 16. That went down by 4. I'm still happy about that. Now for cream blushes, cream, powder, that's a problem category for me. I love blush. I love blush so much. Cream blush, powder blush, I don't care. I love it. So I started the year with 27 cream blushes. I only panned 1, you guys. I panned 1 of the e.l.f. monochromatic multi-sticks by using them in projects. I decluttered 1. I want to say that I decluttered it to a friend, but now I can't really remember what it was. But I did add 5. And if I'm thinking correctly, None of those 5 were actually bought by me. I think they were all given to me in friend mail and the big giveaway. I won one big giveaway last year. One big giveaway from Donna at My New Obsession. It was an amazing giveaway. It had so many beautiful, beautiful things in it, but I'm pretty sure at least a few of those were in that giveaway, and then a couple I did get in friend mail. So I have a total of 30. That did go up by 3. Unfortunately, it did. Now on to powder blushes. Again, problem category. Love blush. I started the year with 24 blushes. If you look at the top right corner, there are 2 very small mini, they were deluxe sample blushes from the Balm that I did depot and put in a Z palette. So 24 blushes. I panned 0, of course, because panning a blush is so difficult, especially a powder blush. I do have 2 that I'm hoping to finish this year, but last year I finished none. I did declutter 3 blushes. I added 2. And I'm pretty sure those were both added in that giveaway. I'm pretty sure. So I have a total of 23. So that did go down by 1, but I can't really see that going down very much throughout the year. While there are 2 that I really want to get finished, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to buy any more. I'm just saying, I might. Now we're moving on to cream highlighters. Highlighters are another problem category for me, not necessarily cream highlighters, but highlighters in general. So my cream highlighters in 2024, I started with 7. I don't think that's too bad. I did pan 1 cream highlighter. It was a small little tube, and I didn't really care for it, but I was happy to get it out. I did declutter 1 cream highlighter. Again, it was a little deep for my skin tone, so I sent it to a friend. I added 0, if you can believe that. I added 0. So now I have a total of 5. So 2 of those Super Shocks do have pan in them, and those are on my unofficial plan to pan this year. So I might actually be down to 3 by the end of the year, but I don't know. We'll see. Loose highlighters. This is the exact same as it's been for the last 2 years. I had 3 at the beginning of 2024. I panned 0, I decluttered 0, I added 0. So I still have 3, the same 3. Loose highlighters are so difficult to use up. That Wet n Wild I've had for at least 3 years. I thought maybe I was getting down to the bottom, so I took the little sifter out of it. No, there's still a ton of it in there. And they're so bright that I just don't really use very much of them at all. Powder highlighters, like I said, problem category. I love highlighter. I don't really wear highlighter much. I'm not wearing it today. I don't wear it to work. I very rarely wear highlighter, but it's so pretty and I love it. So I'm not sure that this category is going to go down much because again, it's really difficult to use up a highlighter. I started the year with 32, and that includes those 5 in that separate little photo that are single highlighters that I have in a Z palette. This is a panned 2 highlighters. I don't think I did. I don't know where that number came from. You guys, I don't think I did. So just disregard that, but I did declutter 4 highlighters this year. I decluttered those 2 friends. Again, a little bit deep for my skin tone. So I passed them along to someone who will love them. And I added 2. I'm trying to look and see what 2 I added. I know one of the 2 that was added was the e.l.f. Moonstone Pearl or Moonlight Pearl because I took it out of my inventory last year because I thought that I had given it to my daughter. And then when I was moving my stuff around and going through and taking photos, it was in there. So I added that back in. So that's one of them. I can't remember what the other one was because I don't believe I added any from friend mail, and I know I didn't buy any. So I don't know where that one is. I don't know. I don't think that this category is correct. I do know that I do have 28 of them. But I can't remember which ones I supposedly panned and which ones I supposedly added, except for the e.l.f. So you guys just disregard this whole category. I do know that I started with 32, and I do know that I ended with 28, but I can't remember how that all came to be. Let's move on to face palettes. So I started the year with 26. I panned 0, obviously. I decluttered 13. I got rid of 13 face palettes this year. These were face palettes that I know that I was not going to use. I either didn't like the formula or they were so similar to other ones that I did use that I just went ahead and got rid of them. I put them in my Mercari store and have sold a few of those to date. I added 7 face palettes this year. Now, because they include my eye and cheek palettes, a couple of those were gifts from friends that had eyeshadow and a blush and a bronzer or whatever. Also, I did win a few in the giveaway that I was talking about earlier. And I know a couple of those face palettes that I decluttered were just face palettes that were too deep for my skin tone, so I gave them to a friend. So I ended the year with 20. Down 6. Still too many. I still have too many. But at least it's a little bit more manageable. Now we're moving on to lip products. We're going to start with lip liners, and this is a category that will always go down and always go up, because not necessarily that I am using that many of them, but a lot of my lip liners came from either subscription boxes or mystery boxes, and they are not necessarily shades that I use all the time. But I started the year with 21. I did pan 1 lip liner last year, and I only decluttered 1, but there are a few more in there that I think will go this year. I added 6, and I ended the year with 25. So it did go up. As I said, it's going to constantly go up and go down. A couple of those lip liners that were added were actually gifts with purchase from Ulta. Now that I'm looking at the picture, I remember that. So I'm not really concerned about that category. Now we're moving on to bullet lipsticks. This is a problem category for me. I do love bullet lipsticks. And these are bullets and crayons and anything in a stick form, anything that's a solid lip product is going to be in this category. I started the year with 45. That is a lot of lipsticks for me. In my opinion, that's a lot of lipsticks. I did pan 3 lipsticks this year, and that makes me very, very happy. I decluttered 7. Again, this is a category that has things that I got in subscription boxes and mystery boxes, things that I wouldn't normally pick out for myself. I added 14. Some of those were MAC from the Ulta Beauty sale. Some of those were given to me by friends, and some of those were given to me in that giveaway. I got some beautiful lipsticks from my friends. I got beautiful lipsticks from the giveaway, and I got beautiful lipsticks from Ulta. So now I have a total of 49. So it went up by 4. This is another category that will probably go up and down depending on my mood, because there are some of these that I know I will never wear. And so I'm not necessarily done decluttering. Next up are liquid lipsticks. I do love liquid lipsticks. Matte liquid lipsticks, love them. I know a lot of people don't. They think they're too dry on their lips. It doesn't bother me. I like it. I like it. I started the year with 34 of them. I did pan 5 lipsticks, 5 liquid lipsticks this past year. They all had considerable use on them. I decided to use them up, get them out. I decluttered 5 liquid lipsticks this year. Again, shades that I knew that I was not going to wear. And I added 3. One of those I bought myself. The other 2 were given in friend mail. So now I have a total of 27. That went down considerably. And I'm happy about that. Lip gloss is a category that if it went away tomorrow, it would not break my heart. I do not like lip gloss. Most lip glosses, I should say. I don't like most lip glosses. But this also includes lip plumpers and like the Hangover RX Pillow Balm. I have that in here, and I'll tell you why that is in here in just a minute. But I started the year with 25 of them. I did pan 1. I panned 1 lip gloss last year. That makes me very happy. I decluttered 7. And that is because I didn't like them. They were sticky. I knew I was not going to use them, so they had to go. I did add 5. One of those was the Pillow Talk, and then 2 of the Too Faced lip injections, which I love, and then a couple were given to me in that giveaway. So I ended up with 22. That still went down, and compared to 2023, this category went down quite a bit because I had so many lip glosses that I had gotten in boxes, subscription boxes, mystery boxes, and again, I don't really wear them. I think of all of these lip glosses, I'm looking at the photo right now, and out of all of these lip glosses, I've bought 4. 4 of those lip glosses I actually bought. So I do have it dwindled down to lip glosses that I like, and hopefully I will get some more use on some of them this year. There are 2 of those that are in my plan to pan, and hopefully those will be gone by the end of the year. Now, lip oils. This used to be lip oils and balms. I had 8 lip balms in this category. I did not declutter them. I just moved them out of this category. So I started with 17. I panned 0. But I did take those 8 lip balms out because I'm not going to count them. I'm not going to count my lip balms. I don't really wear lip balm very often. They're in my handbag. They're in my car. You know, if I need them, they're there. But it's not something that I buy. And so it's not something that I'm really worried about finishing. So that is why the Pillow Talk is in with my lip glosses. Because if I use it, I'm going to use it more as a gloss. But lip oils I do love. And I know 3 of these will probably be done by the end of the year. Now moving on to our final set of categories, which are eye products. And we're going to start with eye primer. In 2024, I had 13 eye primers. I did pan 3 eye primers this past year. I decluttered 0 and I added 0. So I have 10 total. The top row are eye primers that are unopened, have never been used. And then the bottom row includes my NYX glitter primer and then 3 eye primers. The one in that little jar is gone. And that was actually in my 2024 empties. That was the Ace Beauté eyeshadow primer that I worked on all year last year. Mascara. This is not a problem category for me because I tend to use my mascaras up pretty quickly. I do throw them away after 3 to 4 months. I had 13 in the beginning of 2024. I panned 10. I use 2 or 3 different kinds of mascara at any given time. So I do have 2 or 3 open at any given time. So I did pan 10 of them. I decluttered 5. And those were all mascaras that were dry when I opened them. So I decluttered them. I added 12. Those were all, I'm pretty sure they were all bought by me. Most of those were bought by me. I think 2 of those were given to me in that giveaway. But I had to replenish my mascaras. So the top row of mascaras have not been opened. Those are still sealed or in their packaging. In the bottom row, I have 5 open products. That is 3 mascaras and 2 eyelash primers. I have the Lancome Sills Booster and the Max Stack. Those are both primers, mascara primers. So I have a total of 10. That doesn't worry me the least bit because I know that those will be gone by the end of the year. And I'll probably have purchased more. Next up are black liners. I do use black liners mostly. I don't use colored liners very much. I had 23 black liners at the beginning of the year. The top row are liquid liners. I don't use liquid liner much at all, but I do have them if I need them. I did finish 3 black liners this past year. I decluttered 3. Those were all given to my daughter because she likes a black liner and she knows that she does not have to go purchase a black liner because mom has plenty. I did add 4. A couple of those were in a giveaway and then a couple were purchased from me. So I have a total of 21. That also includes that potted melt liner, which I have said I was going to declutter so many times and I still haven't because I don't use those. I just don't feel comfortable using them, so I don't use them. But I have way too many black liners. I don't need that many, but I will use them. I did spend most of the year on my Urban Decay 24/7 liner and finally used that up. It was just a little bitty guy when I finally used it up. I would normally have, I think, a couple more that I panned, but because I used that one almost all year, then I didn't really go through as many as what I would like. Next up are brow products. I do have all of my brow products in one category. I started the year with 14. I did pan 4 brow products. A couple of those were brow gels, and I think one was a pencil. I decluttered 0, but I did add 3, and those were given to me from friends or in that giveaway. So now I have 13. The 2 brow palettes will be around forever. Those are great. One of those, the one with the 5 pans is Sydney Grace that was given to me by Leanna. And I do like that brown brow shade. I have a couple of gels left. I did get a few in the giveaway. The Anastasia Brow Freeze will probably be put in my Mercari store and along with the brow pomade, because I just don't use those kind of products. And I've not heard great things about the Anastasia Brow Freeze because I've heard it is difficult to get the precise amount of product that you need. And I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with that. You guys, I just use eyeshadow on my brows. I just use eyeshadow. I don't even need all these products. I don't. But I love the Sydney Grace and the Brow Bar palettes because it's basically like using eyeshadow on your brows, and I do like that. Now we are moving to colored liners, and I don't know why my colored liners weren't right after my black liners, but there weren't. So at the beginning of 2024, I had 31 colored liners. I panned 0 because as I stated before, I'm not a big colored liner wearer. I'm better about it this year. I am trying to get some use on them, but I did declutter 9. I had a whole set of the Odin's Eye colored liners, and I did declutter most of those to a friend because I know that they would get use out of them, and I will not. I did add 3, and 2 of those were from Sephora, and the other one I believe was in that giveaway. So I have a total of 25. That category did go down considerably, and I'm happy about that. I am now to the point where the colored liners that I do have are ones that I really like. Again, so many of those were in mystery boxes and subscription boxes. Over the past few years, I have just decluttered them because they're not things that I use and they're not things that I want. Moving on to shadow sticks. These are eyeshadow sticks. These are eye crayons, anything that's in a stick form that is an eyeshadow. I had 6 at the beginning of 2024. I didn't pan any of them, but I did declutter 1 to a friend because I knew that they would like it more than me. And I added 3. 2 of those are Laura Mercier caviar sticks that I got in that giveaway. And then one of them was a gift with purchase when I ordered from Ulta. So I have a total of 8. That went up by 2. That went up by 2. This is another category that if it disappeared completely, it would not affect me at all because I don't use them. I'm trying to be better this year. This is going to sound like a broken record. I'm trying to be better this year about using them. And the one that is the LOC, the Love of Color, I do have in my little stash beside me, and I have been trying to get some use on that. But I don't normally use shadow sticks. Next up is liquid shadow, and what I use less than shadow sticks is liquid shadow. Every single one of these liquid shadows was given to me. It was either in a mystery box, a subscription box, or was gifted by a friend. At the beginning of 2024, I had 6 of them. I will explain all of how this came about in just a second. So I had 26. I panned 0 because I don't use them. I decluttered 16. I added 0, so now I have 10. Now the ones that I put in the declutter right now are not in my collection. I mean, I have them. I'm going to show them to you. So those that I'm talking about that I decluttered, I still have them. So I got this little palette. These are Sydney Grace cream shadows. Leanna and Ash and I all have this palette. Leanna asked me not too long ago, hey, have yours dried out? Mine are getting dry. And I was like, no, they're fine, because I did actually use one at one point and it was great. But you guys, now they are dried up. So I'm going to try to refresh them, but as of right now, they are not in my collection. I'm not actively using them. I'm going to set these aside and see if I can actually revive them. If I can't, that's just a loss. It was a great experiment. We had fun doing this, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Eyeshadows. But as of right now, those are no longer in my collection. I counted them as a whole liquid shadow, but I really shouldn't, because it's really just a little bit of each one. So you can see that they're pretty solid. So I don't think they can be revived, but I am going to try, because I think this was such a great idea. And it was an experiment, and it didn't work out, but whatever. So I now have 10. You see the ones on the photo. Like I said, none of those I bought. I bought none of those. Those were all in subscription boxes or mystery boxes. So again, I'm going to try to use them this year. If not, if I don't use them by the end of the year, I'm decluttering all of them. Loose shadow. This is a category that just should not exist in my collection. All 4 of these, I had 4 of them at the beginning of the year. I panned 0, decluttered 0, I added 0. I still have the same 4. Those same 4 are unopened. They are sealed. They've been sealed for the last 2 years. I don't need them. The big one is a Sydney Grace. It is beautiful, but I don't reach for loose shadow. It's messy. I don't like it. So those will probably all go into my Mercari store, because I don't need them. I'm not going to use them. I don't need them. Kind of the same thing with the potted single shadow. I had 5 of them at the beginning of the year. I panned 0. I decluttered 0. I added 1 because 1 was sent to me in friend mail by a friend, and it is a beautiful shadow. I just don't reach for these. But again, these are all in my Project 10 Uses wheel, so I'm really hoping that they do get rolled in at some point, because they're all beautiful. I love them. They work really well. I just never reach for them. So I'm hoping that I can actually get some use on them this year. Next up is a problem category for me. It is Super Shocks. ColourPop Super Shocks. I love them so much. Do I use them? No, I don't. The only use I got out of my Super Shocks in 2024 were the Super Shocks that I rolled into my Love Your Eyeshadows project. And they're beautiful. So some of them are a little dried out, and I'm hoping, not all of them, but I am getting ready to do a collection and declutter video. So we're going to see how many are dried out. I will not be bothered to revive them, refresh them, because I don't use them as it is. I'm not going to spend the time to revive them. Again, these are in my Project 10 Uses, and hopefully they get rolled in, but some of them will be decluttered. I started off the year with 48 of them. I panned 0. Now I did hit pan in a couple, but I didn't finish them. I decluttered 3. They were really dry, and they were not shades that I really like. I bought a vault a couple years ago, and I didn't choose those shades. There were a few shades I just didn't like in there. So I added 0. I didn't buy any Super Shocks last year, which is a miracle in itself, because I love them. I just don't use them. So I have 45. And like I said, that number will go down here in the next couple of months, because I will be decluttering some of them. All right, so these are my single shadows that are in Z palettes. I told you I do not have photos. I will be doing a collection video soon, or maybe a couple of different collection videos. And at the beginning of 2024, I had 382. The reason that came to be is because I depotted my ColourPop 9, 12, and 16 pan palettes. So I put those all in big Z palettes. So all of those were added to this category. So 382. I did pan 7 single shadows this past year. They were all lid setting shades and brow shades. So I did pan 7 to completion. I decluttered 25. Some I gave to friends, some I just threw away because they were depotted from other palettes and they were terrible. So I did declutter 25. And I added 43. I added 43 shadows. This is a category that will never go down because I discovered some indie brands that I absolutely love. One of them is Devinah. I love Devinah shadows. Oh, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I now have 393, and I'm sure that will just continue to go up. I will declutter some as they age. When I do my ColourPop single shadow declutter, I have some that are just so similar to each other. Also, I have some that are, I can tell, aren't performing like they used to. So I will be decluttering some. But yes, that is a category that will probably never go down. Like, it'll go down, but it'll go back up. And then lastly, we have eyeshadow palettes. Again, no photo, but I will be doing an eyeshadow collection video. I don't think I'll be doing a declutter because I did declutter throughout the year. I had 196 eyeshadow palettes at the beginning of the year last year. I panned 0, obviously. It's so hard to pan a complete eyeshadow palette. I decluttered 81 eyeshadow palettes last year. I did. I went through, I had a video chat with Leanna and for about 5 hours, and we sat and I decluttered eyeshadow palettes that I knew I was not going to use. I said, you know what? I'm not going to use this. I know I'm not going to use this. And I put them in my Mercari store. I did add 14 eyeshadow palettes this past year. Only a few of those are ones that I actually bought myself. Most of them were given to me, either in friend mail or that one giveaway that I got. And I now have a total of 129. And I think that is a really nice, manageable number. That actually might go down a little bit, but I can't, off the top of my head, think of any other eyeshadow palettes that I want to declutter. I think I have gotten rid of all of the ones that I know I'm not going to use, formulas that I don't care for, or color stories that I know that I don't care for, that I don't even know why I bought in the first place. So 129 is what I have now. So let me know in the comments below, what are your problem categories? What categories will never go down? I have categories that will never go down, and I know that. Or tell me something that you used up this year that you're really, really proud of. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.